I double clicked on it when actually you should right click, click edit, get into it, and here's the full size folder. Now, first off, we want to turn off echo because we don't want people to see the commands that we're doing. It'll make it sort of noisy and ugly, and you want this to look nice. You want everything to look nice. The title can be anything you want it to be. I'm just going to make mine title so you know what happens. It's going to be at the top of the screen, right where like this example.bat and notepad is showing. So you can make it whatever you want, add your own personal signature, maybe your name. And I'm going to set the color to 02 to give it a nice old retro feel that's green. And then we're going to echo, and we're going to immediately do an open square bracket. And that's going to make a space so that there's a space when it starts just to make things look clean and nice. And then we're going to echo the prompt. We're going to say enter in the directory where the file is. Now, this video is considering that you have already installed your Java path and downloaded the latest JDK, because there's like a million videos doing that. I'm not going to go over it again, guys, and slow down this process. So next we're going to declare a variable, and this one's going to be called set, and then we're going to have / uppercase P. Now this is case sensitive. Make sure and put the SET all uppercase. And our variable name, which can be anything you want, but I'm going to make this X because it's simple and it's one I like to use. And then I'm going to put type, oh, my keyboard's acting silly again, type here. And then that's just going to be the prompt for the text. And then we're going to change the directory to that variable, which is awesome. You can actually get input and use it in commands, which a lot of languages don't permit, but this one allows you to do. It's super dangerous, and this is why Gmail won't allow you to send these files over their services, but it's really fun. Fun but dangerous, like most things, like fireworks and everything else. Now we're going to set a label here, and this label is going to go right before. Actually, let's keep the directory the same for this label. A label basically is to use the goto function. If you only know Java, then you're probably never going to use labels, which is good because they create something called spaghetti code and it has no style. And you want to have style, right? So you can write anything that's like a variable name, but make sure you have that right here, this colon, and it's going to be colon begin, okay? And then we're going to do a for loop. Actually, before we do the for loop, we're going to prompt them again. So you can actually take your prompt and copy and paste it right here. And then we're going to put echo, write the java dot class name with the dot class. Now, one of the conditions for this to run is that the code is already compiled. Of course, there is another way where you can write Java E and then the code, but we're not going to get into that. We're just going to say, like, I use Dr. Java here, or you're using some other type of compiler. You've compiled the code in that directory. The dot class of the bytecode is already there. So you, in echo, right? And echo is basically like system.out.println. Echo, write the java.class name without the dot class. You'll just put basically the name of the class, like say you have your hello world here, and you just put that without the dot class name. Okay, then after that, when their code runs, which we're about to run it, we want there to be some spaces before it. So before we do the spaces, we're going to do /L and then % sign or modulus sign, depending on what you want to call it. We're going to do the variable y because we've already used x, and this is basically just a for loop. I'm going to put starting at 0, and we're going to do it by increments until it gets to 5. And that's just going to put 5 spaces when we do this. So we're going to do the echo and then the space command, like I told you, where it's echo, then that's it. And then that's a for loop right there. And if you wanted to have a more complicated for loop within that, you'd press enter, enter. You can enter multiple lines of code here and have your circular parentheses like this. But we're just going to be doing our echo square bracket like that. Now, after that, we're going to actually run our code. So our Java name, we're just gonna put Java, and then we've used X, right? So we're gonna do mod X, mod, that sign. That's gonna actually run your Java program. So that's all you need if you just want this to run your Java's program. But say you wanted it to run another program within the same directory again. Remember, you can make it run another program in a different directory by moving this label above where we prompt for the directory. So now we're going to ask if they want to do it. So we're going to need an if statement, a loop. So first let's get some input and ask them if they want to do it again. We got our prompt here. So we're going to say echo, which means print. Would you like to run another program the same dir, or short for directory, and type, and then say single quote one or single quote no. They can put yes or no, or just hit enter, and then it will be null, and it will be by default false, and that will stop it. So yeah, that's the two ways. Do the if statement, and we're going to put /i and do %sign x if x equals y. You don't have to have the little quotation marks because it doesn't recognize one the character. It's a string by then what you're going to do, if that is true, is you're going to go to begin, and there we go. We have spaghetti code, and don't forget the colon, which I did forget. And that's it. And if you want to make it, I mean, it already does this, but if you want to make it obvious, you can put else, and then we're going to say go to, and then %sign end of file, which is just the end of file, not colon, file not %sign. And that should be everything. So let's run, make sure that everything's working. Okay, so we've completed all the steps you needed to complete to do this. Now I'm going to run the file, see if everything works. So I click it and I run it, and there's my title, just like I told you, very generic, but you can make your own the way you want it. And it says enter in the directory where the file is. Now, this is pretty basic, but just I'm going to go over it. What you do is you open the folder where it is, click up here where the URL would be, say if this were Chrome or another web browser, Control C, and come back in here, Control V, and then press enter. And it says write the Java.class name without the .class. So I have my lab6.class in here. Let's run it, lab06. There we go. It runs parentheses parse, a lab assignment by Jason Ivey. And it's working. Yep, everything's there. My help is working. Press enter, and it exits the program when I press enter. So it says, would you like to run another program in the same directory? Yes or no? Yes. And it lets me run another one. I'm going to run lab 6 again. Oops, the name is wrong. It couldn't find it. Would you like to run another program? No, I'm good. I'm going to hit N, and it exits. There we go. Wonderful, simplistic BAT program. Can't send this over your Gmail, but you can use Work Upload to send this to other people. And I hope that helped some people out today, guys. Have a wonderful evening.